Okay, hold on. We're going to get to the video you came to see, but first things first. This isn't an easy video for me to share. Where my other videos are discussions about riding in general, this one is about an incident that I was intimately a part of. This accident involved Adam, my close friend and regular riding buddy. The moment was traumatic for both him and me when it happened, and the aftermath has been challenging for him as well. Now, we could have put this video out on TikTok and probably picked up thousands of views and likes. That would have been easy, but that's not really what we're about. Yes, the video is kind of gory and a little scary. In it though, there's an opportunity for us all to learn from the experience, in both what we did right and in what we did wrong. First, you'll get to see events as they happened in real time. Then we'll break things down frame by frame so that you can see the details of how the whole event played out and learn how Adam was able to survive this horrific accident. The route we chose on that day was one we'd taken many times. The highway consisted of long sweeping curves with no cross traffic to worry about. With a friend leading the way on a Ducati Panigale V4, a 210 horsepower beast of a sport bike, we flew along at a brisk speed. The two riders in front pulled away from me, so I picked up the pace to catch up. Just as I caught on to Adam's back wheel, I saw the deer dart out from the brush straight into the path of the rider in front. When I saw that the deer didn't hit the first rider, I thought, wow, that was close. Right as that thought entered into my mind, everything changed.
Call 911.
My immediate thought after the impact was, is he alive? When I saw him moving, I thought, is he paralyzed? How fucked up is he? I was so relieved to see him moving. He complained of a leg pain and commented, I think my leg is broken. Not long after, a Forest Service fire crew showed up on the scene. They provided some first aid and stabilized his leg until the ambulance finally showed up to cart him off to the hospital. At the hospital, x-rays showed no broken bones and no internal bleeding, so they sent him home after a couple hours. Call him lucky. I knew he was hurting, so later on I showed up at his house with some pain reliever. Though my friend was hurt and his bike, a relatively new Aprilia Tuono, was totaled, there was one winner in all of this. The Good Samaritan who stopped to help guide traffic around the crash. Before he left, he asked if we were done with photos so he could take the deer home to make jerky out of it. No problem, all yours. With such a direct impact at that speed, it's flippin' amazing that my friend survived. But it wasn't just luck. He was smart enough to wear proper gear. Without it, he'd have died on impact or at a minimum been laid up with broken bones, major soft tissue injuries, and massive skin loss from sliding on the asphalt. Instead of helping him into his car to go home, I'd have been sending him cheesy Hallmark cards to his hospital room. Now let's take a look at the accident in slow motion to see exactly what happened and see how Adam's gear protected him. First, you'll see that he just slammed into the side of the deer. It exploded on impact. You can see the blood splattering my GoPro. When his front wheel hit the deer, Adam flew headfirst over the handlebars. You can see that his legs struck the bars as he went over. We later learned from the physician at the hospital, who happened to be a riding friend of ours, that a common injury in a crash where a motorcycle strikes an object, like a car for example, what happens is the legs tend to break when they hit the handlebars. When the legs smack into the handlebars, it's not the bars that give. Fortunately, Adam wore a full leather suit that included knee and shin protection. This absorbed a significant part of the impact and almost certainly prevented one or both lower leg bones from fracturing. Next, his body pitched forward as his legs struck the bars, so his head first struck the pavement. Again, his protection saved him. Adam wore a top-of-the-line, full-faced helmet designed to protect both direct and sideways impact. Without a doubt, the helmet saved his life. You can see here just how beat up the helmet is. Imagine if that was his head. After skidding on his head, his back took its turn to smack the pavement. Although his leather suit didn't include a back protector, he wore one separately. Thankfully, the protector did its job. My first worry as I ran over to him was a broken back or spine. I can't tell you how relieved I was to see him moving. Once he landed on his back, he began sliding backward along the asphalt. His body shifted so that his ass took the brunt of the slide. We measured the distance from the impact to the point that he finally rolled to a stop. It was about 100 yards, the length of a football field. The slide burned a hole in the leathers, but again, the suit held up long enough so that Adam didn't receive so much as a scratch. For my part, I target fixated once I saw the collision. I stopped turning and almost went straight into the deer. I managed to just sneak in between the deer and the roadway. I saw my friend moving as I went past, so at least I knew he was alive. So what did we learn from this? First, deer strikes are far more common than I imagined. Each year, there are about 1.5 million vehicle versus deer impacts in America. I used to think that the odds of hitting a deer were like getting hit by lightning, but I've since learned that you're more likely to hit a deer than be audited by the IRS. Fall is the mating season, so bucks are especially active during this time. Be especially careful from October to November. In retrospect, it's no surprise that this accident happened in mid-October. Beware the Ides of October, or something like that. The other thing we learned is that everything can change in the snap of a finger. I've slowed down in areas where I used to fly at full throttle. I've decided that if I'm going to ride aggressively, it had better be worth it. I'm no saint, but having seen the consequences of relying on luck to keep us safe, I'm more picky about when and where I go heavy with the throttle. Finally, I realized that accidents have consequences. 6 months later, Adam is still battling with his insurance company so that he can receive the surgery he might need to heal the torn tendon in his knee. He's able to ride again, but not aggressively and not for long periods of time. Our days of rolling out every Saturday morning are over, at least for now. Knowing the internet, we're sure to be skewered for riding so fast. So be it. Perhaps the criticism is even deserved. I'll say this, however. If you think that you would have been spared from this crash because you were riding slower or you would have somehow miraculously saved yourself, I'll bet that the results would have been the same or even worse. Understand that even if a rider was traveling at half the speed, there would have been no time to avoid the accident. When a deer darts in front of you, it's over faster than a cheetah on a rabbit. The highway we traveled on is popular with riders. Most guys who cruise out here stick with a light helmet and little to no protection. Without a helmet, a rider who struck their head doing even 50 miles an hour would have probably checked out on impact. With a lightweight brain bucket preferred by most cruisers, who knows what would have happened. Half helmets have a tendency to go flying on impact, not to mention the fact they're only designed to look cool while meeting only the most bare legal requirements. Without advanced knee armor, back protector, and thick leather suit, a rider in this situation, even at slower speeds, might well have experienced one or both legs broken, possibly a broken spine, and definitely massive skin abrasions requiring all kinds of skin grafts. Honestly, I'm not sure what would have been worse, this crash at high speed with gear or this crash at low speed with a substandard helmet and no gear. That said, I don't plan to find out, and I don't recommend that you do either. Whether you wear a full suit or not, There's plenty of options out there for jackets, pants, and shoes that will keep you comfortable, looking good, and help protect you should Bambi decide that it wants to use your bike to become a jerky donor. If you appreciate this video, please do me the favor of hitting the like and subscribe buttons. That's it for today. As always, stay safe and enjoy the ride.